So I love your bang, by the way.
Thank you. You're not even done.
Her. So being that I like to incorporate braids, that's what I'm gonna. Okay, being that she's young, I still want to keep her looking young. Okay. My thing is always still keeping the consistency of the hair, knowing how it's gonna move. I'm gonna ask her how I like to, or go up to my updos, or think of the style. So what are you gonna wear? That's how I can envision how the hair's gonna look. What are you gonna wear? Are you gonna wear something that's like this? Are you gonna wear something sideways? Are you gonna wear? So with her, let's say she's gonna wear something that's gonna be cut off on one arm. So okay, you never want to just do everything just down because it's not gonna show off her. You know, it's not gonna show off her dress, or it's just not gonna look good. So what? Well, let's say this was cut off. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna kind of do a side thing, a quick side thing that you can do. So I'm gonna start just doing. Some of them do inside, some of them do outside. So one I'm gonna do in, one I'm gonna do out. The inside on this side. Okay, when it comes to here, we did an inside. This one we'll do a little bit of outside, just so you can see a little difference. None of my coworkers braided, so that's how I kind of got my clients. They're like, "You braid hair?" I'm like, "Yeah." I learned how to braid before I even did hair, and that was because my friends. I would always be like, you know, "Can you teach me how to braid?" And they're like, "Why do you want to learn how to braid? Like, you have like straight hair. Like, you never do your." I never thought, but that's where I got a lot of my clientele because I learned how to braid. And you don't have to do, like I said, I'm not really big on doing it like a perfect type of thing. I like to see more like, I guess like a bohemian type of look. I think that's really big right now with the young girls. Young girls, look at me. So because I do feel, I'm like, I had a client that just recently, I did her hair, like we did some like really cool, wannabe ombre purple with lavender, and she's like, "I'm going to Coachella." And I'm like, "Oh my God." I literally was like, "You need to be safe, call your mom." She's like, "Marilyn, you act like I'm like, "I've never been there," but I really felt like, I hear horror stories and I'm like, "And don't do drugs." She just started laughing at me. She's like, "Marilyn, are you for real? You act like you're like old." And I'm like, "Well, I feel like it right now." I'm more mature. So it'll be something quick because she might not have that much time for you to be doing all this stuff to her. So you want some quick, but you still kind of want her to look herself. Okay. And the back, depending on what it is, you know, sometimes you could do a little bit of. We'll do a little bit of a tease job just in the top. And it doesn't have to go, you don't have to get all crazy, just something enough where you're not really seeing any bumps or anything like that. Less is more too with the product when it comes to your product. So that's, to me, I'm all about knowing what type of products you need. You're going to do whatever you want. Okay, but we're going to do some quick here. I think in school too, I used to always want to get everything. I like to keep it, I kept it kosher. I only have maybe a few things that I can use on everybody, okay? Which is kind of nice because that way it's a little bit more versatile. So when you do updos, depending on what they want, sometimes I get a little bit more creative when they just kind of let me do whatever I want, because that way you can just kind of see what you can do, how to move the hair. But again, if they're young, I want to keep them looking young. But practicing on your colors, I'm gonna tell you, use your friends. Like, hey, let me give you this really. But yeah, I love cutting long hair. That's what my clients go for me.
Like
for a
layers?
Nice, pardon me?
Like layers, long layers?
Long layers. Anything that has to do with long hair. I just love long hair. There's nothing more beautiful than having a client that has beautiful hair and it looking good versus that client that you're like, oh my God, like your hair looks like Brillo pad, like for real, you know? But that's my biggest thing. I love cutting, layering. Yeah. I like to play a lot with extensions.
You actually do extensions?
Yeah. Well, the ones that I'm doing now are just, I do clip-ins. Not between the clip-ins, but I do the taped ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Curling iron. That would have been cool, a cool look. Curl it with the curling iron and then just start pinning, pin. But what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna try to use what she has here. And because I'm one of those, like I said, stylists, I like to call myself, it's a messier kind of updo stylist. I am just gonna start pinning because she has really pretty hair. So even the pinning, that's gonna give her a different type of look. It's not gonna necessarily be like, you know, a wedding look. It's just gonna be a cool little, you know, something different. You know, and that's how I got as far as I did. Learning from people and asking questions, and sometimes maybe I didn't like that answer, but you know what? It got me where I'm at now. And it gave me that confidence. And that's the biggest thing. That's confidence, it goes a long way. Goes a long way. And it shows. So all you're gonna do is placement, placement. And like I said, you're gonna get creative on in your own way. Nobody's saying that you have to do it a certain way or certain style. Everybody has their own style. Everybody has their own style. So never be scared to try something new, because the client will always appreciate something cool that you did on her.
So as soon as you got out of here, did you start?
Okay, so this is just something quick. Yeah, I love your bang. I did a client maybe like 2 weeks ago that she wanted like straight out like that Elvira, and I'm like, are you sure? There's times where I'm like, are you sure? Are you ready for this? Because sometimes I'm not ready for it. I'm like, I don't know, I really like your bangs the way they are, but after you do it, you're like, man, that's pretty cool. That's so cool that I did. Always take pictures of your work. People love seeing pictures because then they'll see, I had to take a lot of pictures, but then they'll see what you can do. You know, like, oh no, she does pretty cool hair. Okay, so what I did quick is just braid on the side, that was in. Look down for me real quick. This one was out to give her just a little bit more of a you know, bump. I didn't really tease the top, but you want to do it enough where it's not just hitting the head. And in the back, all I did literally is just pin her hair. Used her ponytail, pinned it out, did a cool little, like, you know, different type of style, kind of like, you know, brushing through. Something quick. I mean, you see how long it took me. It was quick.